Good evening, friends. This video is for FTT 1115543, and my name is Billy Joel Heifel, the one, the only. Today we'll be going over firearms clearing as well as the cycle of operations. The firearm we will be using to demonstrate this is a Glock 23 Gen 4. It is my personal firearm. I carried it for years. Then I switched to a Springfield Armory XDS simply due to the size. There was never any problems with this gun, the way it feels in the hand. First off, let me clear. That way I'm not playing with a live gun. Oh, dangerous. First step is always keep the firearm pointing in a safe direction with your finger straight and off the trigger. Okay. Grip, manipulate the firearm as so. Pulling back on the slide, locking the slide lock. Now we're going to do a visual and physical inspection of the chamber. Bless me. Ensuring that there are no bullets in there. There's no freedom seeds. No sir, no sir. And also the source of ammunition has also been removed, right? No magazine. Right. Only then, only when the weapon has been fully cleared, can you continue to look at, play with, whatever you're doing, hand off. You always want to clear a weapon before handing it off. Before cleaning, before doing anything with fire, you want to clear it. Unless you're carrying it, and unless you need to stay in a condition 1, which is around the chamber, right? There are instances where you would keep running. If you're hunting, personal defense firearm, if you're in the military, right? Depending on the threat level, depends on if you're condition 1 or not. Right, different TTPs. So, firearms clear. Now what I'm going to be going over is the cycle of operations, which I like to start with firing, because that's just the most fun, right? I'm going to double check to make sure that worked good, right? Always double check. Triple check, because if you're going to pull the trigger, I'd hate to go bang. I'd hate to have it go bang unnecessarily. So, pull the trigger, boom, firing pin, because it's a hammerless design. Firing pin, which is released by the sear, rocks forward from the internal energy contained in the spring and strikes the primer. Pow! Initiating the first explosion in this chain of events. Follow me on this journey. Choo-choo! All aboard the gun train. Cycle of operations. So we're firing, right? After the primer ignites powder, a bullet rips down the barrel. Once it's exited the barrel, and once the chamber pressures drop enough, it allows the slide to begin to travel backward. And if you'll notice, the first step, look at the barrel. Boom, it unlocks. So that would be the second step that I'm going to be talking about. So firing, unlocking, the barrel drops down, the slide begins its rearward path of travel. Okay, and we then walk into the next phase of extracting, where the extractor, right, like a hand, it's on the bolt face, it grips onto it, and like there's a rim, right? That's why cartridges have rims. There's an extractor grip. Okay, the slide is continuing to go backward. The extractor it's never let go, right? Unlike freaking Rose who let go. Like, don't be a Rose, right? Extractors aren't like Rose. Extractors, hold on tight. Understand? Understand? So, firing, unlocking. Now we're extracting. We're pulling back. We're ripping the old round, the spent case out of the chamber. And then, once the slide gets far enough back, right? You see how slide continues backward? We're now ejecting. So the extractor hits the ejector, which is a little rod. It's like in the side. I forget which side. Okay? And the case hits that ejector, and it gets thrown off back into the right, at least with this pistol, okay? So we've now ejected, we're about right here, we've ejected it. Boom, we reach the end of the recoil guide rod, okay? I'm not going to keep holding it because I'm a weak body, I can't hold it anymore. I've been having shoulder issues. I'm getting stronger, praise God, but I'm going to go ahead and Get back to the video. Get back to the information, okay? So we've extracted, we've ejected, right? The old round of boom, been ripped off the extractor. It's been sent back into the right, baby. Okay. Now, into the cocking phase, right? The firing pin is ripped back. Okay. It's held back by a sear. It's pulled back into its initial holding place contained within the bolt. All right. And it's held in there with positive engagement. Positive engagement with the sear. Okay. So, boom. So now we're beginning to feed. The slide's now going forward. The extractor is now grabbing onto the new round, the fresh Freedom Seed, off the top of the magazine. And it's pushing it forward. It's grabbing onto it and it's pushing it forward. And the tip of that projectile is hitting a feed ramp, right? It's hitting the. Look in there. You probably can't. Well, I can. Can't just. You can see it shining in this KKM match grade barrel. No big deal. No big deal. Titanium guide rod too. No big deal. Yeah. We're feeding. The slides forwards, pushing the new bullet in. Okay, we haven't chambered yet, but we're feeding, grabbing that new bullet and pushing forward, feeding it in, and now we're cocking. We're feeding. We're chambering. We're pushing that new projectile fully into the breech. Right, the barrel, the breech face. Okay. Boom! But we haven't locked in yet. So the barrel is still in that. It's not canted, but it's tilted, right? Pitched. So the final phase, right? The round's almost in there. It'd be locking. That's how. So first off, just a little pro tip. Okay, if your gun, if you can push back, and when you let go, it doesn't lock back into battery. If your gun doesn't go into battery, okay? Now, sometimes depending if you have a round in there, it might not go into battery with just that slight release, okay? But without a magazine, okay? If it doesn't positively, with a good bit of forward, go back into its primary lock position, then you need to check out your spring, your guide rod, your spring, because you're not getting enough. It ain't enough juice for your gun. It might be worn out, probably worn out. So, also could be dirty without lube. So it's important to upkeep of firearms, right? Whether it be cleaning, whether it be inspection, whether it be, I guess inspection would go into a dry fire or a live fire. But yeah, this observe and intellectually observe, right? Don't just look and say, it's a gun, bang, bang, skeet, skeet, right? No, be like, okay, is this gun, if need be, if I call upon this tool, will this tool work in adverse conditions and perform as expected, right? Will this cordless hole puncher perform as expected when called upon? And you need to make sure that you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's to make sure it has, right? Right? Let me pause it and see where I'm going with this video. All right, friends. Upon looking at the instructions, I think I have I've hit all the wickets. I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's. And just real quick, while I have you here, I want to thank you for watching, and I also want to inform you of the good news. I don't know if you've heard it, but Jesus has risen. Just kidding. Jesus has risen. I don't want to yell it because the neighbors are. It's like what, 11 o'clock. But friends, it's truth. It's the good news, and I wanted you to know it because it's a crazy world. It's gonna get a little bit crazier. It's actually gonna get a lot crazier. Okay, we're having earthquakes and volcanoes and storms and floods and droughts and things that it's called in the Bible. Daniel talks about it. Revelations talks about it. The birth pains. So buckle up. Now, if you're a believer in Jesus, He's coming. He's gonna pull the ones who are unified with Him up into heaven. Right? That's the good news. That is the promise. The church does not go through the tribulation, friends. There is no post-trib. Legit, if you look at the Bible and you read what is truly said, and also when Jesus comes back with the saints, right? Like when Jesus comes back with like the sword, when he comes back as a warrior, right? ready to wage war against the devil and the armies of evil on this earth? Friends, the select are with him, riding down on horses. So how can, and that's just one of a couple references. Yeah, long story short, you with Jesus, if you're on Team God, you're going out of here soon. So get ready. Make sure your heart is ready. So guys, when we can't, Jesus can. Have a good day. Love you. God bless. And always keep your fingers straight off the trigger until you're ready to fire. Always have a light on your gun because you never know what time the gunfight's going to happen. People say, "Oh, I don't go out at night." Oh, well, what if you're in Walmart or some other store, the power goes out, and you cannot see. You might wish you had a day maker on you. That way you can tell friend from foe. I don't know about you, big fan of target differentiation and discerning what is a viable target versus what is a friend, right? Friend or foe. Important recognition, guys. So have a good day.